stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hallelujah, man.
Call, please.
Mayor Orr,
Here.
Councilman Baker,
Here.
Councilman Martinez.
Here.
Councilwoman Philby.
Here.
Councilman Edwards.
Here.
Councilwoman Henninger. Here. And Councilman Villagrana.
Present.
Okay, we need approval of minutes of the regular meeting of October 20th, 2014.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented of October the 20th, 2014. Second.
We have the first and second. Roll call, please.
Baker.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Henninger. Aye. Villagrana.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Filkingsreed.
Aye.
And Mayor Orr.
Aye.
7-0.
Okay, minutes will be approved. Next is the public hearing of 2015 budget. Actually, following the hearing, who's going to be talking on this? Mary? Yeah, please.
Oh, no.
Well, we have presented the budget over the last month, and basically this is just the first reading of it. It still has probably a few changes that we've discovered in the last couple days, nothing major, just, my first apology is that I didn't change the 2014 to read 2015, so let's start with that after how many times I put it out. So, is there any questions on general fund, water fund, or any of the other additional funds?
Any questions for council?
So, the levy of the property taxes is at 26,433,499. That did have a slight decrease over the year before, very slight. So that is the first resolution.
And you're going to go over A, B, and C? Or do you want
Yeah, the first one
Once
is,
they close the hearing.
Any questions or comments from the council?
I already asked them.
Need to give the public a chance to speak.
Anyone from the public? Must be a go. Okay, we'll close that and go on to the next. Resolution 15-2014 summarizing revenue and expenditures adopting the 2015 budget.
that is your,
14 is
Might
the
go
levy.
14 first.
yeah, 14 is the levy and 15 is
Budget.
the summary of the expenditures. And you want me to read them, but their general fund is 2,921,361. The water fund is 5,557,158. Police equipment is at 79,323. Swimming pool is at 84,775. Conservation trust is at 38,000. Cemetery is at 6,500. Pool parks and recreation fund is 47,925. Recreation fund is 2,600. Capital project fund is at 70,000.
Okay, any concerns on that? No? Anyone in the public concerns on that? What Mary just read you? Okay, go ahead and close that one out.
Motion for that in order.
Need a motion.
We need a motion.
14.
14 first.
Someone.
Need a motion to approve resolution
14.
2014 levying the property taxes.
I'll make the motion that we approve the Resolution 14-2014 levying the property taxes for 2015 budget year.
Second.
Okay, we have first and second. Roll call, please.
Who's second?
Mel?
Baker?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Pilkingsrud?
Aye.
Henninger? Aye. Martinez?
Aye.
Villagrana?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, now we need another resolution. Mel?
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we accept Resolution 15-2014 summarizing revenue and expenditures and adopting the 2015 budget.
Second.
We have a first and a second.
Somebody.
Larry was the second. Okay, roll call.
Edwards?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Villagrana?
Aye.
Pilkingsrud?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Henninger? Aye. Mayor Orr?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, next is the first reading of ordinance 16-2014 appropriating monies to various funds and spending agencies for the 2015 budget year.
15.
No, that's 16, 20.
I make a motion that we accept.
Well, let's read it first if we could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right, sir.
Ordinance 16, 2014, an ordinance appropriating sums of money to the various funds and spending agencies in the amount and for the purposes as set forth below for the City of Florence, Colorado for the 2015 budget year. Whereas the City Council of the City of Florence has adopted the annual budget in accordance with local government budget law on November 3rd, 2014, and whereas it is not only required by law but also necessary to appropriate the revenue provided in the budget to and for the purposes described below so as not to impair the operation of the City of Florence, Colorado. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Florence, Colorado, that the following sums are hereby appropriated from the revenue and available fund balances of each fund as follows. General Fund, $2,926,769. Water Fund, $5,729,534. Police equipment supplies, $82,521. Swimming pool, $84,775. Equipment replacement fund, $15. Conservation Trust Fund, $40,100. Capital Improvement and Acquisition Fund, $35,383. Community Projects Fund, 0. Perpetual Care Reserve Fund, $8,615. Cemetery Construction Fund, $8,155. Pool Parks and Recreation Fund, $161,700. Recreation Fund, $3,700. And Capital Projects Fund, $100,384.
Okay. Now we can have a motion.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 16, 2014, appropriating sums of money to the various funds and spending agencies in the amount and for the purpose as set forth for the City of Florence, Colorado for the 2015 budget year.
Second.
No, sir, second, start with second. Roll call.
Villagrana?
Aye.
Henninger? Aye. Edwards?
Aye.
Pilkingsrud?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye. Okay, we're moving on to the visitors. First, I'm going to call up our police chief, Mike Delarentis. Under visitors.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'd like to introduce one of the new police officers, Sergeant Don Penover, who's come over from Fremont County Sheriff to join the Florence Police Department as a supervisor. I know we've some new faces around, so I wanted to start bringing some new faces for the council members to see them, and also for him to talk a few minutes about his past. And if you have any questions for him real quick, you can ask him any questions. Sergeant Penover. And we're very lucky to have a man with his experience coming over to our police department. It's going to be a great asset to the city of Florence and our police department.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just briefly, I started my law enforcement career in 1975, I hate to say, and with Adams County Sheriff's Office, and then I retired from the Arvada Police Department in 1999 for the first time. And then I went to Jefferson County Sheriff's Office for 8 years, and then we moved to Canyon City. And I spent the last 7 years with the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, and the last 3 years as the division commander. And then I just came down to join Mike down here at Florence last week, and look forward to working with him and the citizens of Florence.
I'm glad to see you got
So,
some.
well, it took a while. It took me 39 and a half years to
Smart.
start.
It is a good guy.
So,
Thank you. Anybody have any questions of Dr. Pendleton?
No, so welcome
Good
aboard.
enough.
Yeah,
Welcome aboard.
nice to have someone with so much experience. That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You bet. Next, we're going to have the Downtown Colorado Incorporated come up and give us a talk.
Oh, geez. Downtown. Yeah.
Hello, and thank you for having me. My name is Catherine Farrell, and I'm with Downtown Colorado, Inc. We are a statewide organization. We've been working in Colorado since 1982, so just over 30 years. And we've been working to bring resources to downtowns in our state, much along the same lines as the Main Street program that Tim Stroh was talking about earlier, thinking about how those commercial districts and the heart of your community really is a destination within your community, and how you can use that to develop economic development, to do community engagement, and really involve your community in the decisions and the plans and the celebrations that really make community life great. Oh, I can do it. So I have just a couple slides, and I'll go through them relatively quickly. But we have had a presence here, and we do have a record for supporting communities, supporting downtowns, large and small, throughout our state. We consider ourselves a clearinghouse. So whether it's a program like the Main Street program, or thinking about different financing mechanisms and what you can put in place to have designated pool of funds that would support your commercial district, or getting in touch with other programs. There's programs around culture and the arts, there's programs around shop local campaigns, so there's all different things, and so we gather all of those and help communities access those resources, whatever they may be. And then we also will talk a little bit about community assessments, which Tim talked about earlier, and that's one way that it's almost like the entry-level way to find out about all of the different resources that are out there, and to kind of get a feel for what's going to be a good fit in your community. So as I said, we have been around for 30 years. When we originally started, it was thinking primarily about financing mechanisms and how you can put something in place that will help you designate resources to your commercial area. So that might be things like business improvement districts, downtown development authorities, urban renewal authorities, merchants associations, whatever shape it might be, thinking about different structures and organizations that can help you shape the direction of your downtown. Then, in 2000, we actually, our nonprofit organization, brought the Main Street program here, and we administered that program for 10 years. So us being a nonprofit rather than the state, at that point in time, there was a fee for participation. But what we learned is a lot of the different pieces that go into it. So we developed our community assessment program when we were administering the program as a way to really get a feel for what tools and programs will best suit communities. So it helped us to really understand the Main Street program, really understand the different resources that are out there. And then when that program moved over to the state in 2011, we were able to really expand the services that we provide. So rather than just focusing on those communities that are in the Main Street program, we've been able to broaden and work with all different communities, some that are interested in the Main Street, some that aren't interested in Main Street, but really helping to think about all of the things that are out there, what's going to be a good fit for your community. So now today we are a clearinghouse, and we are a membership association. association. So communities like yours join our organization. Also, well, actually, you are a member of our organization already, but communities like yours are our members. Of our members, about 60% of our members are communities, and of those communities that are in our membership, about 60% of them are under 5,000, and 80% of them are under 20,000 population-wise. So we really do focus on smaller communities, but we do have an expanding membership base in the larger communities as well. And the other part of our membership is consultants and programs and state agencies and different partners that we work with, so that we can take the community partners and then we can take the folks who work with communities, whether they be private consultants, other nonprofits, state agencies, and we help to connect them. And so we do that through information and advocacy. We have a whole bunch of information available. So we have an online resource library. There's a way that you, as one of our members, you can sign on, and you can all get a membership ID. So as our member, that's an organizational membership. So you can all sign on. You can get your own ID to sign on and access our resource library and different things that we have. We have newsletters where we highlight different things going on that you might want to look at. You know, you can write articles and we can show off what you've been working on. But we also follow legislation. We also follow things that are going on at the Capitol, different things that might impact your ability as a community or as a downtown area to really thrive. So things that, like the Business Improvement District legislation, how that's formed. These are things that are important to our membership. Also, last year we worked on the historic tax credit. And we were one of the sponsoring organizations to get that passed. So we're really excited. That was our first time lobbying. And then we have education and training. So Mike and Wade both came to our conference in Fort Collins. Next year it'll be in Durango. We generally move back and forth across the state to give access to everyone who's out there. But our conference is a time when everybody comes together and really talks about what they're doing, celebrating the accomplishments of downtowns throughout our state. And it's a time to really network, link into other resources. We also have call-in opportunities. So we have monthly educational events, quarterly educational events, and 2 annual educational events. So almost 20 events each year. And then we have our technical assistance, which I'll talk about in more depth. But the short picture of that is we have our members who are communities, we have our members who are consultants and groups who work with them. We talk to communities and they say, these are the issues that we're having, these are the challenges that we're having, these are the things that we'd like to move forward with. And then we go into our membership base and we can pull all these different consultants and all these different specialists, and we can say, we can pull them together as a multidisciplinary team. So you might have one person that's going to focus on landscape architecture. Maybe somebody's going to focus on connecting to the highway, wayfinding and signage. You might have somebody who's going to focus on putting financing mechanisms in place or thinking about what pots of money you can get behind your efforts. Somebody else is going to think about communications and marketing, streamlining your events, thinking about them strategically. And so we use all of those things to put together a plan for you. And we pride ourselves on this not being a plan that sits on a shelf, but actually putting together recommendations and having an action plan that can actually help you to use the community engagement from that assessment visit to create these committees and really delegate out. So it's an action plan that breaks down into small steps so that people can take things and run with them. And then you have a reporting structure that brings it all back together so that you have your community-wide objectives, and then you have the specialties of all the different people implementing. And so as I mentioned, we do have a whole bunch of different areas that we pull from. So whether that be nonprofits like the Colorado Housing and Finance Authority or Colorado Preservation Inc., DOLA has been our biggest partner and helped us create our community assessment program back in 2004 when we started it. Different local governments, so we could get peers from other communities similar to yours that have gotten past things that you're facing as challenges. And just thinking about all the different areas that you can work to bring things together. We get those people to volunteer their time so that we can do it more affordably. And the way the engagement process with our organization works is it usually starts with that membership level where we have all these different members, and then they start coming to events and you kind of get your feet wet and you see how other communities are moving forward, and you hear from other communities and you get to talking to your peers from around the state that are doing things that you may be doing, that you may want to be doing. And then we go to technical assistance, so it's sort of getting a little deeper. And then once you're in technical assistance, usually people really buy in and communities really buy in. They have a different level of engagement, but they keep coming back and they keep coming for continuous training. So very much like the way the Main Street program works, where you have that continued training and you have this network that you can tap into. I think that our technical assistance helps communities do that. And a lot of them end up joining the Main Street program, applying for the Main Street program. Some of them go for the Creative Districts program or the Heart and Soul program through the Orton Family Foundation, or different programs that are out there. But they keep coming back because they see how this can engage their community. So it's really about the engagement. And so I love this slide because I think it kind of helps to shape it. Everything is based on community engagement. And when we do the assessment, we get a large group of people involved. So we have focus groups that work with businesses, that work with residents, that work with what we call community partners. That might be nonprofit groups. This could be quasi-governmental districts like library district, school district, those types of folks. We have elected officials. We have, I said, businesses, residents. So a very broad section of the community. We usually have pretty good turnout for those. And what we do is we talk about, what do you like about the community? What do you want to change about the community? What do you want to build in the community? And I think of it almost like, I call it a rainbow of fruit flavors, like a lifesaver pack. And everybody likes something. So some people are passionate about financing or volunteerism. I like those. Partnerships, I like those. But you get a lot of people who are interested in design. In most communities, what you'll find is you get huge turnout if you're having a meeting about putting a plaza in, or a fountain, or changing the parking, something like that. This generally gets people very engaged. So it's just thinking about what is the piece that's going to engage the people, and then building up from it. So you find out what they're interested, and then our report and our approach to your community takes on all the different colors. And everybody can find something to work on, but they have an umbrella to come back to and a structure that helps it all fit under those community-wide objectives that you set. And this is just to envision that there are these different roles for all of the different groups who are involved. And this is really where the Main Street program might come in. So if you have that partnership and communication, those regular meetings. Now some communities do the Main Street program because it is so competitive. Not everybody can get in. So some communities use this tool, and they might start doing it even if they don't get it. Like you can do your application and you can start doing the process even if you don't get in. Or you might choose to do something else. But thinking about how you bring all of those groups together and have that partnership and communication, that's where it really helps you to put that structure together so that you don't get that burnout and that you can continue to build on the efforts that you put together. And this is way too small to read, but I did bring a copy of something that we put together. We have a book on financing mechanisms, and I'll leave it. It's also, you can download it from our website, and if you need help signing on to the website, or if any of you would like to get your ID for the website, it's very easy to set up your sub-account. But Downtown Redevelopment Financing Mechanisms. So this looks at a whole bunch of different types of mechanisms that Colorado statutes allow for that help you get that money just for your community. And this looks at some of those and the Main Street program and what is the background, what is the focus, what are the pros and cons? Because each one of them has pluses and things that are a little bit more challenging about using them. So thinking that through and making sure that you choose a tool that's going to fit your community is something that we're here to help you do. So when we actually do a downtown assessment, we have a stakeholder analysis, a volunteer skills assessment, the strategic event matrix, where we look at all of the different events and how they're fitting into your objectives, merchants and resident surveys, that's optional, and then follow-up assistance. So more and more we're having communities who like to have us come back and help shape committees that work to implement. But we do have the implementation matrix available. And once again, on our website, all of the community assessments that we've done since 2007 are available there online. So we have done 64 communities throughout our state. I personally have been on, I think, 49 of those. And Christy Culp was probably on 28, 30. So they're all on there. You can check them out. You read them. You can steal ideas from them. They're helpful. But we've covered most of the state. These are all of the communities. So we've been really in all parts of Colorado. And generally, the timeline would be to do the assessment. And we're starting now to track the recommendations. So when we do an assessment, we collect the different recommendations by the community, and then we'll revisit with you. So we call you, DOLA will call many of the communities after we do technical assistance, and we just check in, kind of see, are you moving forward? Are you having challenges? Are there other resources that we need to give you? And think about how to get it done. But on an annual basis, we're starting to track those projects, and so I also brought you all a copy of some economic development case studies we put together from that process. A lot of the communities that are in the Main Street have been through that process, and so I have these case studies. I won't go into too much detail, but Victor, that Tim talked about, they started with a DCI assessment in 2008, 9? And we recommended that they apply to the Main Street program. It took about 2 years before they were really interested, because they weren't interested in the Main Street program prior to that. But they eventually did get into it, and they were able to get a VISTA volunteer, which works 40 hours a week, to help with that process. And now they're really thriving as a Main Street community, and they've had a lot of impact. Their population, 550. Trinidad was another one. They asked us to do an assessment. They were interested in applying to the Main Street program and the Creative Districts program. They are now in both. There's only 2 communities in the state that have both designations, Trinidad and Ridgeway. And so our assessment in Trinidad actually helped them strengthen their application and look at what they could do to improve their chances, as well as thinking about financing mechanisms and thinking about how they can support their incredible historic architecture, which is deteriorating quickly. So they have made great strides. They're in the process of restarting their Urban Renewal Authority, and they're working on their CLG, the local government, certified local government standing. Castle Pines, totally different community. This is one that we couldn't have worked with earlier, but it's a suburban community, and they had a very auto-centered rest stop, essentially off the highway, and they wanted us to come in and do an assessment to look at how they could make a walkable center in this rest stop. So it's very, very different. And then something that we're moving on now is looking at more regional programs. So in Grand County, we worked with 5 of the 7 communities, and they asked us then to come back because all of these communities were implementing and doing things. So they asked us to come back and do a county-wide assessment. So we came back and we brought together all of the different communities, talked about what they were all working on, and have been able to put together a regional plan to help them further themselves as a county and think about how they connect in with other counties. So we're actually talking about doing a southeastern quadrant of Colorado project right now, and we would love to include you all in that if you are interested. But that is all I have. And I have a bunch of material that I will leave with Michael, and you can look through it if you're interested.
Thank you.
Are there questions or?
No?
The cost of the assessment, is there a fee involved in that?
There is a fee. I actually have a brochure. We have a variety of different types. So what we've been working on now is a 2-day assessment where we come back quarterly over the course of a year. And the cost for that is $15,000, but it involves a lot of prep work in terms of surveys and thinking about how you want to approach people in the community, helping you do some of that outreach, getting a larger group involved. But then we have different types of technical assistance that are different rates. The other thing that we do have is we are actually in the process right now of applying for a grant from USDA. And what we do is it's essentially a pass-through grant. So we apply for the grant, and then we can discount the costs to communities. So that's only for communities under 20,000 population. And so we're applying for that right now. And so we'll always help. If communities can't afford our services, we will always try and help identify different sources of funds, different partner groups that we can talk to find ways to make it affordable.
And does Christie fund some of these assessments?
We're going to get to that.
Yeah. We have talked about it, so. Yeah, so we've worked with communities. Sometimes we can bring it down to, a very, very little cost, but as a nonprofit, just to keep our doors open, we do have to, cover our costs and our staff time that goes into it, so. It'd be nice if we could do them all free.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Anyone out in the crowd want to ask her anything? No? Well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Next, we're going to have Christy come up from DOLA.
I don't have a PowerPoint, sorry. I just wanted to take an opportunity to introduce myself. I know many of you and work closely with the staff here in Florence, but my name is Christy Culp. I'm the regional manager with the Colorado Department of Local Affairs. If you're not familiar with my organization, we provide financial and technical assistance to almost 4,000 local governments across the state. So we work with communities who want to do capital improvements projects, water and sewer treatment plants, community centers, new city halls or courthouses. We have funding opportunities for community projects like that. We also do a lot of technical assistance with counties, cities, and special districts. So special district elections. We come in and offer training for new elected officials or planning commissioners. We are responsible for collecting all budgets and audits from local governments from across the state, so we're very busy. I cover a 10-county region in south central Colorado. I cover the 6 counties in the San Luis Valley and the 4 counties in the upper Arkansas. So my office is in Alamosa, and I live in Salida, and I have a nice little home office with a portable printer and a laptop computer, so I work everywhere. I've been working a lot with Mike on some of the projects that the city of Florence is going through right now. The Fraser Avenue Highway 115 Railroad Crossing we've been working on. The Dry Creek Dam project is one that we're working through right now. I do have to say just how great it is to work with Wade. I think it's fabulous that you got him over here, and he's great to work with. So looking forward to continuing that relationship. We do have planning and administrative grants, so I know that that's something that Mike and Wade are both interested in as you all move forward, either through some of your either community assessments or the Imagine Florence project that you all are working on now. So it's great to be engaged and involved in your community. I work directly with Mike and Wade, but if you have any questions or if you need me for anything, I've been known to talk to council members too. So just wanted to take an opportunity to introduce myself. If you had questions regarding the Department of Local Affairs or the work that we're doing at the state, just wanted to make myself available.
Okay.
Okay?
Any questions? Anyone out there? Well, thank you very much.
Sure, I'll let you get on with your meeting.
Okay, there's no old business. So we'll move on to new business. And we'll talk about the blight study.
Okay, you'll find the blight study in your packet. There's going to be executive session. We're going to talk about it, so we've got no point in doing that. We talked about the blight study this is the study that will enable us to move forward with the urban renewal district. This is the northern area, and basically working with Steve Weiser, the attorney who we've been working with on the formation of this urban renewal district. We felt it was best to go with this David Cooper as our consultant to do this particular northern phase of the project. And the funds are available in the current budget. If you turn to the last page, page 3, you see the costs. And we are requesting the council pass a motion approving this agreement with DGO Community Planning and Design.
And this is the money we discussed at that time.
So we discussed in the last executive session.
Okay. Any questions, council?
So the total fee is $8,500?
Yes.
Plus
Plus some
expenses, mileage.
Oh, plus there are some expenses, yes, okay.
Mileage and hotel, and if they give us a presentation, anything like that, cost of materials if they print it.
His estimating is expected to be less than that.
Anyone else? No further questions?
Okay.
Okay, I need a motion.
Dory's recommending that you do something like that, but total cost not to exceed 10,000, something like that. So that you're-
Yeah, that's what I think.
Do it for 8,500 plus expenses not to exceed 10,000.
I didn't hear that. Could you just repeat it?
To do the deal with DGO in the amount of $8,500 plus expenses not to exceed $10,000.
Total cost, not 10,000 expenses.
Under 10.
Just
Okay.
That's under
I'll make the motion to approve the contract with DGO as stated by our city clerk.
For the blight.
For the blight study.
Yeah. Second?
And not to exceed.
Not yet, well, she actually, as she stated,
Okay.
not to exceed $10,000. If it goes on.
Second.
Roll call.
Baker?
Aye.
Pilkings-Root? Aye. Penninger? Aye. Villagrana? Martinez?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Mayor Moore?
Aye.
7-0.
Okay. Next thing is the liquor license renewal of the Sumo Golf Village and Bar and Grill. all the paperwork up to speed, Dory?
Yes. His
He's
application.
been paid?
He's been paid. The
Okay. Police report.
reports are attached. Both health officer and police reports.
All right.
He has no calls?
None.
No cost.
Well, nobody's drinking.
Not be too rowdy with the
Drunken
crowd.
golfers. they just-
Drunken golfers. Okay,
All right, I'm just going to say something on this one. Well, I make a motion to approve the liquor license renewal for Sumo Golf Village Bar and Grill. It's located at 5201 Gary Player Drive in Florence, and everything's in order. I don't think there's any conditions and so forth.
nope, that's good. Second?
Second.
Got
No.
2 seconds.
I waited.
Edward. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Pilkingsrud?
Aye.
Henninger? Aye. Martinez?
No.
Villagrana?
No.
And Mayor Orr?
Aye.
5 ayes, 2 nays. Passes.
Okay, Mayor's report. I'm happy to report that the tree committee is getting them trees planted this week, and I see one of the tree committee people back there. So we're gonna plant those trees, and if you wanna, I'll get a hold of you or anything, and, because we're getting the spade and gonna move all those trees this week, finally.
Are we moving one of them or 2 of them?
We're moving
Park?
all of them.
The
There's,
best.
what, 7 trees, I think there is total.
I thought we had
And the park by the
A lot
playground?
more than that.
You
got more than that, don't you?
There's a lot more
Yeah.
trees, 18 or something.
The 7 that we can get to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are those big trees that could only be planted in the park? In
Yeah,
cemetery?
some of them's going in the parks, some of them's going down Main Street.
Saying some of
Because
mine.
I want a tree by my building, if possible, if there is any small ones. I mean, the
We'd
ones
have
that
to
won't
take out
grow.
the concrete,
Yeah.
put one in yours, probably.
We've got Lions, Wilcox, the Columbarium, at least one at the Bell Tower, one at Noodle Argelman's house.
Hey,
He says that's a total of 11, so the rest of them, couldn't give you exactly what they're
How
going.
about
the bell tower.
He just
we
mentioned,
wanted
yeah.
it up to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mike, could we have it for the old cemetery? Just
Will you
one?
take care of it?
No way to take
Oh,
it.
yes. I had to take my own bucket with me.
I'll look into it.
So we've got 11.
I figured no.
Yeah.
He's got more
Well,
trees in
BJ
that, but that's
wants a
locations for
couple.
11, yeah.
But we'll look into it. And the tree committee will get together this week and figure out the rest of them, where we're putting them all. Okay? But at least they're gonna be moving, finally. Miss TJ will be happy. Okay, finance officer's report.
I have nothing to
You reported enough already?
Oh, wow.
City attorney's report.
Ask that you request an executive session after the regular session to discuss the Sumo case and the Union Pacific Railroad case.
Okay. Putting in overtime. City planners report. That would be you, Wade.
All I have is that Thursday is the first meeting for the Imagine Florence, the comp plan update. And so Matt Goebel and Darcy White of Clarion Associates are pro bono coming down and doing the first talk, and it's called Imagine Change. And it's to set the stage of imagining how, the basically American economy and demographics are changing and how that's going to affect Florence, Fremont County, and Colorado. So they're great speakers. They're nationally, internationally known consultants, and so I've been friends with them for a long time. And they thought they've heard of Florence and never barely been here, so they were interested to come down and give a talk for us. So if anybody is interested in any kind of city planning or in being involved in the comprehensive plan update that was last done, Mr. Baker,
Thursday.
people were on it in 2006. So just invite everybody to come.
And you said Thursday?
Thursday at 7 here.
7?
Should probably be like a 30-minute talk, and then it'll be kind of like a public meeting afterwards. It gets feedback if people want to be interested in email updates or being part of the planning team.
Okay.
It's November 6th, right?
And then December 10th, we'll have another meeting. So it'll be the Imagine Change, Imagine Community, Imagine Preservation. Will be kind of topical for the keynote speakers. And then how everybody likes to go to a public meeting and sit around and do nothing, so I thought I have a great engaging speaker, then I get ready to come, and then if you want to hang out afterwards and kind of give feedback, then that'll just be a bonus.
All right. Well, thank you for that report, Wade. You notice how I got you put in there now, all the time?
I know, I guess up front.
We didn't do the committee meeting. Committee reports, none?
None.
You didn't go to no committees?
I was gonna say something, I forgot.
Okay. City managers report?
I'll make it pretty short. One committee that we did have last month, since our last meeting, was the Fremont Economic Development Corporation. We did have that. That went pretty well. They gave the results on the membership drive largely, and FEDC continues to help us on our big economic development projects. So Rob Brown from FEDC has been a big help in that, and we continue to move forward on those projects. Everything continues to look good, and moving forward. That's all I have for right now.
Okay. And last but not least, Larry?
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills.
We got bills to pay?
Second?
Okay, we have first, second.
All second?
Paul did? Okay.
Gee, you wanna flip a coin?
We have like 2-3 seconds.
Okay, Baker?
Aye.
Billy Graham?
Aye.
Bill Peters?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Manager?
We might get out here by 8 o'clock.
Martinez?
Oh, aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye. And now I need a motion to go into executive session.
I make the motion that we go into executive session ASAP to discuss the views concerning Sumo and
In the real
Union Pacific Railroad gods.
Second.
I mean, railroad people.
Second.
We have a first, second roll call.
Who's second, sorry? I was distracted.
Which is
Tony.
Paul
Tony was.
and Tony.
Billy Graham?
Yep.
Martinez?
Oh, yeah.
Baker?
Aye.
Manager? Aye. Edwards?
Aye.
Bill Peters?
Aye.
Mayor
Yeah,
Orr?
this money.
Okay, we'll do executive session. Is this girl gonna be going back?
Wait a second.